This is the last Art of the Day presentation for the semester. In fact, this is the last week of the semester. And so if you haven't turned in all your stuff, turn it in now. If you haven't started your Instagram project, the Instagrammable art show, now's the time to start it as well. I have 9 followers. I have 8 followers on the official Introduction to Visual Art Instagram page, and I want to call out each of the people who are following just so that I know I care. You know I care, and to pressure, the latecomers into coming. So thank you, Yvette and Miriam and Winshu. Thank you, Melanie and Charlotte and Natalie. Thank you, Aiden, and thank you, Peter. So if you haven't signed up for Instagram, now's the time to do it. And followed the official Instagram account at introduction_to_visual_art. So now's the time to do it. Let's get started. I do want to point out that I have one student, one of your classmates, who is not able to do the Instagrammable art show. And so I want to give credit to him as well, Gavin. And Gavin had good reason, and he emailed me, and I've created an alternative for him. So if you fall into the category of not being able to do the Instagrammable art show, then let me know ASAP. That way I can communicate with you. Like I said, this is the last video, the last week of videos and content and schoolwork for the semester. So let's get everything turned in. And this week we are talking about sculpture and installation art and land art. I only have 2 Art of the Day presentations for you. Following this presentation, I want you to watch the sculpture lecture and then the installation and land art lecture, and then I want you to take the final quiz. There's only going to be one quiz that has questions from the Art of the Day and the other 2 lectures. So watch these first 3 videos and then take your quiz. So let's start with the sculptor Sarah Z by Natalie. Sarah Z is an American artist born in Boston, Massachusetts in 1969. Her father is from China and her mother is Anglo-Scottish Irish. She's 52 years old today and currently lives and works in New York. Sarah Z attended Yale, where she completed her bachelor's in architecture and painting. Afterwards, she attended the School of Visual Arts to complete her Master's of Fine Arts. Here is a statement by Victoria Miro talking about Sarah Z. So Victoria Miro is an artist who runs a British contemporary art gallery in London. And when talking about Sarah Z's art, she said the following: Z draws from modernist traditions of the found object, dismantling their authority with dynamic constellations of materials that are charged with flux, transformation, and fragility. Captured in this suspension, her immersive and intricate works question the values society places on objects and how objects ascribe meaning to the places and times we inhabit. I think that might sound a bit esoteric to you guys, but talking about dismantling objects and things and creating constellations totally makes sense. So here's an example of one of those constellations called Just Now Dangled Still. Mixed media. So mixed media, if you aren't aware, is a term that means There are too many objects and materials in this artwork that the artist isn't going to name all of them. So it is a mix of different medias. That is mixed media. Another sculptural installation. Tilting Planet. Short Tower. 2006, 2009. This is a cool one I haven't seen before. Looks like we have two stretched out images, but looks like there might be a building that looks like it's sinking into the pavement, but the viewer can look into the window and see this installation. That's pretty cool. Corner plot. An artwork called Proportioned to the Groove, 2005. Fifth artwork, Second Means of Egress. So this is different, which is cool than this or this, because it looks like it's all pieces made to look like fire escapes, right? It's a big assembled fire escape rather than pieces from other objects that are put together. So that's a cool, different piece. Art of the Losing, mixed media. That's very cool, hanging in a stairwell. Here's a lithograph. So Sarah Z is doing a print. Remember, lithographs are printed off of slabs of stone. So this is a largish, it's a large print, so 39 inches wide, which is 3.5 feet wide, and then 71 inches tall, which is almost 72 inches tall, which is 7 feet, right? 6 feet. 6 feet, I'm sorry. Night, offset lithograph and silkscreen. These are very cool. Sarah Z's not known for her sculptures or for her prints. She's known for the sculptures, but man, I really like these prints. So congrats on that, Natalie. Everything is in its right place. Very cool. And then an installation called Seamless. Natalie's opinion. I believe that Sarah Z is a very talented artist. Her art is very different to anything else I have seen. However, the colors that she uses in most of her art are cold colors, such as blue, giving off a cold, sad feeling. I would rather look at art and get a warm feeling from it. I do like how she uses different home materials to compose many of her art pieces. It is very fascinating to look at her artwork and see how small objects, such as a lamp and a ladder, together, plus much more, can make such an incredible piece of work. That's, I think this is a really great opinion, Natalie. I personally like cool colors, but I totally see what you're getting. That one, I guess, has warm colors, but that's very cool. I see where you're getting at. Color has everything to do with emotion. I think that's a really great opinion. All right, so this was a great presentation. Thank you, Natalie. Let's move on to our second and final Art of the Day presentation by, oh geez, by who? By Shana Zihra. Shanazira. I'm sorry for if I butchered that name, Shanazira, but um, I read this over and it's a pretty good presentation, so I think I'll make up for it. Michael Heiser was a sculpturist, also known as a sculptor, who was born on November 4th, 1944 in Berkeley, California. While he was only 12, Heiser would accompany his father on his archaeological trips, and Heiser, a young boy himself, would then sketch out ideas while looking at his father at work. As Heiser grew older during the mid-1960s, he left his studies at the San Francisco Art Institute and headed to New York, where he supported a living for himself by painting apartments, including the loft of Walter de Maria, who is a famous artist, a famous land artist. During this time, Heiser began to work on shaped canvases that he called negative paintings. This is a sculptural installation called Compression Line, 1968. So this is Core 10 steel and earth. And what Core 10 steel is it's a construction grade steel that rusts, and when it rusts, it protects the surface of the metal. So when you're looking at buildings going up and the metal is all rusty, don't be alarmed. That is Core 10 steel, and that's what it's supposed to do. So it looks like what is going on here is a box with two sides, two short sides and two long sides that this box is literally lowered into the ground, creating a hole. So that box is made out of steel. Then there's this open space, and it's in a parking lot. And so the steel gets hit by the cars and closes up over time. So that's cool. A monotype, which is a type of print, which we didn't speak about, I don't believe, during the printmaking presentation. But monotype is a term that means a one-of-a-kind print can't be done or recreated again. So there are many processes. You might do experimental lithography or screen printing, or even just spreading ink on acetate and pressing that acetate to paper. So that is a monotype. Gwinnett Red Diamond, 1977. Perhaps that might supposed to be granite red diamond, but red diamond granite on aluminum base in 12 parts. So it looks like several pieces of carved stone. That's cool. Perforated object number 11. So this is made of concrete, steel, and pins. So when we look at the materials list, we see that this is made out of concrete, but the base that it's standing on is part of the artwork as well. So it's talking about the steel base, and the pins are probably what's holding it all together. Offering number 8, concrete on a wood base. So cast concrete. Untitled Circles, Ghana. Baltic birch wood. So this is cut wood. And this piece is untitled, and of course, yes, it is a sculpture. I don't know what the material is. It might be a cast of cement, or a cement cast of a fossil, is what this would be. So this is steel. It looks like stone to me, but it might be steel. 45, 90, 180. Not sure what that means. That might be geographical coordinates. And then a piece called Brazil. This is also a sculpture. I believe this is made out of steel and stone. Mausoleum made out of stone. Gwinnett Deer Island. Gwinnett Deer Island. So, a critic's statement about Michael Heiser says Michael Heiser is known for a body of work that relies on the beauty of his natural materials, rocks, dirt, and land itself, and that often verges on near comical grandiosity with its size and themes. With his latest show, Altars, at Gagosian Gallery in New York, Heiser continues to think big with 3 new steel works and several older ones that make use of 18-ton igneous rocks. In honor of the Gagosian show, we turn back to the December 1977 issue of Art News in which John Gruen spoke to Heiser about his ambitious projects, notably Complex 1, a massive construction in the Nevada desert, part of his ongoing city piece, which he began working on in 1972, featuring the artist discussing such topics as his sex life and why he dislikes Christos, that would be Christo and Jean-Claude, who wrap buildings and fabric. Christo's art. Gruen's profile of Heiser follows in full below. So this Alex Greenberg is a really important art critic. It's interesting that we don't see more of what he wrote, but the first part of this statement is an accurate description of Michael Heiser's work. All right, here's for the opinion. I at first was finding his style of art pretty boring, and his pieces also looked like they really didn't have any personal meaning. However, as I researched and read about his background and what intrigued him to pursue in this passion of his, I then understood about what drove him to continue this, and while I had this in the back of my mind as I was looking at his masterpieces, I then realized that maybe to me they aren't really eye-catching, but you can just look at the piece and really tell that Heiser has put in all of his creativity and thought into his sculptures. Although they aren't my cup of tea, I have to admit that he was an extremely artistic and creative person. All right, well, there we go. All right, that is the end of your Art of the Day presentation. And go ahead and watch your next 2 presentations, one on sculpture and one on installation land art. And you'll see these 2 artists in those lectures. And then after that, take the quiz. And then after that, make sure your Instagram project, your Instagrammable art show, is turned in by the end of the week on Friday, because that is the last day of the semester. So it is not due on Sunday night. It's due on Friday night. So get your stuff done. Get these quizzes done by Friday night and your Instagrammable art show. All right, let me know if you have any issues, and I am signing off.